This is the Mustang GT 2005 S197 single overhead cam 4.6 V8. The Mustang GT has aftermarket wheels, I believe. It has vented rotors, slotted rotors, I guess, not vented. We're going to take a look at it. This is the first year of the retro body style, and I believe the color is Wind Veil Blue Metallic, I think it said. This car has tinted windows, really nice rims. We're looking at it for a friend, and I'm not sure if this came out with it or not, but this car does have the sequential turn signals, like the old Shelbys. It's a really pretty color. It has probably 50% tread wear left on the tires. I'm going to look inside here. It's a leather interior car, I believe. Yes. Even smells like a new car. It has over 100,000 miles on it, but apparently somebody's took really good care of it anyway, because this leather's not all cracked up. One little blemish. Has the retro Mustang style binnacles and the round AC vents, which I love. This car is an automatic with overdrive. Has fairly roomy back seats, but no room for feet. I'm going to open the hood here. This car also has the halo headlamps and the driving lights. This is a really good looking car. Like I said before, this is the 4.6 single overhead cam, dual intake, single exhaust valve. It's got 3 valves per cylinder. It is not the Coyote engine, but this engine is somewhere around 300 horsepower. It says J639 on the number here. Unless that just complies with some, that's not the actual engine number. I think the engine number is like S197 or something. I don't know much about Mustangs. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Looks like it has a cold air intake added. I love those cross ram intakes. I love the way those things are set up. I think they're awesome. It looks like it's had some stereo work done, because there's a big monster breaker in it right there. Somebody at one time's had a big amp in it. This car still have an amplifier, big amp and stereo? It has, yeah. There's a bunch of cables here, like somebody's had one in it. There's a look at the halo headlights. I'm not sure if you can see them on this camera. Might be a little twitchy on this camera. Go ahead and turn those off, Todd, if you would. What we're interested in is this car, where it has around 100,000 miles on it. He just bought it. We're going to take a look at it and see. Look at that antifreeze here. It's showing a little low, but the car has just been shut off. When it cools off, it'll probably bring itself back up to the mark. If it doesn't, he may need to top his antifreeze off. It has a substantially smaller battery than what it would have had before, it looks like. Somebody probably had a bigger battery for the stereo. Let's take a look at the oil cap. Now what we're looking at here is looking for creaminess or mayonnaise looking stuff inside of the cap. Make sure this thing hasn't let one of the head gaskets go. He just needs to keep an eye on his water here and make sure that it stays around the same level. Don't see any problems there. I like this little feature here. The window's cracked. He shuts the window, it jumps itself back up. Open it again. Down. I just think it's nifty. I've never owned one of these Mustangs. I think it's an interesting car. My friend had a Ford pickup around this same year, and he put solar deflectors, these visors over it, and somehow that interfered with the window. Every time he rolled his window up, it would roll itself back down automatically. So it's something to think about if you decide, unless they stick on the outside and don't interfere with the door. But this car seems to have pretty even tread wear all the way across the front tire, because it doesn't seem to be having any alignment issues. The brakes look really good on it. We're going to take the, you hold this just a second. I'm going to take this dipstick out and have a look at the motor oil. It actually is clear. It looks like it's been changed recently. Did they say anything about it being changed?
He said it was about time for it to.
Well, whoever it is taking really good care of it. That oil is about clear on. I mean, it's got a little color to it, but did it keep it parked?
I have no idea.
I don't know. He's just going. I wonder if he's going by time or if he's going by mileage. Don't really know. I don't see a oil change decal. But so far, everything's looking really good on this engine. It's looking really clean. It has a factory style, not really a header. Sort of is. It's a header style manifold. And they're short. But the sound of these cars is just, I see a little, on the rack and pinion down there, just a tiny little bit of seepage. Now what he can do on a good dry day, he can put some cardboard underneath it, and I'll recommend that. Put a little cardboard underneath it and let it sit on a good dry day and see exactly where the seepage is coming from. It's a fairly new oil filter. Belt could use a change. Oh, yes. Oh yeah, the car does have a tune, they tell me. This car should be somewhere around 300 horsepower. With a tune, it may be just a little bit more, but the tune really just recalibrates everything and makes it perform a little better. May give it just a tiny little boost in horsepower, but since we don't know the nature or origin of the tune, we can't really guess. But I'm sure it's 300 plus on the horsepower. Even with the cold air intake and the tune, you're probably getting maybe 325 out of this car. And maybe more, who knows. Like I said, I don't know the nature or origin of the tune. Let's get them to start this car up and let's see what it sounds like. Go ahead and give it a start. I don't hear the idler or anything like that. Like I said, the belt looks pretty decent. One issue that people tend to have with these, a little bit of valve cover leak right there, I see. People tend to have issues with these. People have issues with these spark plugs. Sometimes it's hard to get the spark plugs out. And Ford will charge like $700 to change the spark plugs on this car. If it's like the Triton V8, I know the trucks are pretty high. Listen to the back of it here a little bit. Give it a little rev. Turn your left turn signal on. I love those sequential taillights. Right side. Two sequential turn signals. I just dig it. And that's a throwback to the old Shelby Mustangs. It originally came out on the Thunderbird, I believe, in the 60s. This is the GT. Alright, that's good. So far, I'd be pleased to own this car. These big V8s. This car in particular, I imagine, is a lot of fun and could probably get loose. It does have just a regular straight rear end. They're not independent rear suspension or anything like that. I think they're McPherson struts all the way, all four corners. It's starting to rain on me really bad. But we wanted to look over this car, look at the oil. And ordinarily I'd be suspicious that the oil had just been changed and make sure that someone isn't trying to cover something up. But you look at this, even when it's running, you can see if there's any type of blow by or anything. This car, like I said, has got over 100,000, but this car with all the management systems, no check engine lights going, this thing should be keep right on going as long as he takes care of it. I'm going to have to get in out of the rain, but this has been, we're going to take a lot deeper look at this car, dig into it a little deeper when it gets more time and it ain't raining. We can get it in the shop here. We're going to jack it up, get under it, and check out all the seals and rear end and look how the brakes and tires are wearing. We're going to go give it a complete inspection. This is just a quick little review. We're going to get in out of the rain. You guys please subscribe. Thanks for watching.